Chaldia was a historical region located in mountainous interior of the eastern Black Sea, northeast Anatolia. Its name was derived from a people called the Chaldoi that inhabited the region in antiquity. Chaldia was used throughout the Byzantine period and was established as a formal theme, known as the Theme of Chaldia, by 840. During the late Middle Ages, it formed the core of the Empire of Trebizond until its fall to the Ottomans in 1461. Anthony Breyer traces the origin of its name not to Chaldea, as Constantine VII had done, but to the Eurasian language, for whose speaker Ld was the sun god. Breyer notes at the time of his writing that a number of villages in the Of district were still known as halls. Geography. Initially, the name Chaldia was consigned to the highland region around Gumashane in northeast Anatolia, but in Middle Byzantine period, the name was extended to include the coastal areas, and thus the entire province around Trapezes, forming the easternmost area of the Pontic Alps. Chaldia was bounded to the north by the Black Sea, to the east by Lazica, the westernmost part of Caucasian Iberia, to the south by Erzincan, Erzurum and what the Romans and Byzantines called Armenia Minor, and to the west by the western half of Pontus. Its main cities were the two ancient Greek colonies, Kerasis and Trapezes, situated in the coastal lowlands. The mountainous interior to the south, known as Meso-Chaldia, was more sparsely inhabited and described by the 6th century historian Procopius as inaccessible, but rich in mineral deposits, especially lead, but also silver and gold. The mines of the region gave the name Argyropolis to the principal settlement. History. The first local inhabitants, the Chalybes, were counted among the earliest ironsmith nations by classical writers. Indeed, the Greek name for steel is Chalybes, possibly deriving from them. The first Greek colony was that of Trapezes, founded by Greek traders from Miletus, traditionally dated to 756 BC. Greek colonization was restricted to the coast, and in later ages Roman control remained likewise only nominal over the tribes of the interior. The coastal regions, however, belonged to the Roman province of Pontus Paleminaicus. Only during the reign of the Byzantine Emperor Justinian I were the warlike tribes, the Sanoi or Zanoi, subdued, Christianized, and brought under central rule. Justinian included the entire region in the newly constituted province of Armenia I Magna, with Trapezes as its capital. In the second half of the 7th century, with the establishment of the theme system, the region became part of the Armeniac theme, initially as the Turma of Chaldia, and later as a semi-distinct duchy or archontate. By 840, and perhaps as early as 824, it was constituted as a theme in its own right. Arab geographers of the 9th and 10th centuries report differently on the theme. Ibn Khordadbeh reports that it counted 6 fortified places, Qudama ibn Ja'far that its troops numbered 4,000, while Ibn al-Faqih writes that its governing strategos commanded 10,000 men and had two subordinate to a Me'eshai. According to 10th century documents, the strategos of Chaldia received £20 of gold as an annual salary, of which half was paid by the state treasury and the rest came from the tax proceeds of his province, including the Commercion tax on the important trade routes from the east that converged on Trapezes. In the early 10th century, the theme's southern portion, the district of Chalcine, was detached and added to the newly established theme of Mesopotamia. Until the eastern gains in the latter 10th century, Chaldia remained the northeastern frontier of the Byzantine Empire. During the periods 1091–1095 to 1098 and 1126 to 1140, the theme was practically autonomous from the Byzantine government. During the first period, under its due, Theodore Gabrias, the region had been cut off from the remaining Byzantine territories by the Seljuk Turks, while during the second period, due Constantine Gabrias had rebelled against Emperor John II Komnenos. Following the dissolution of the Byzantine Empire by the Fourth Crusade in 1204, the region became part of the new Empire of Trebizond. Indeed, by the 14th century, the empire was reduced practically to the territory of the old theme. The Empire of Trebizond managed to survive through successive upheavals by a combination of its inaccessible location, a small but capable army, and a sound diplomacy based on marriage alliances before finally falling to the Ottomans in 1461. Even thereafter, isolated fortresses in the interior continued to resist. Only in 1479 was the region subdued, when the castle of Golacha, the last remaining Christian stronghold in Asia Minor, fell. Significant numbers of Pontic Greeks remained in the region throughout the Ottoman period, until the 1923 population exchange between Greece and Turkey.